covering stuff that really matters, that's going to affect countries and people's lives. Why is it always BS?
It's boring. People don't like that shit.
Right. It's boring, and then like also again the money that's involved in it, but also again maybe this makes me sound like a conspiracy theorist, but it's just propaganda at this point. It's like they're going to tell you what they want you to hear and not what you need to hear and not what's actually going on in the world. Because again, like you said, Sam, it's boring. It's like there's a lot of stuff that's boring. There's a lot of stuff that's tedious, that's long, and that people aren't going to really pay attention to. I mean, there'll always be a few that will, but yeah, no, they don't want to tell you anything. They don't want to educate the public on what's actually going on. They only want to tell you what the government wants you to hear.
They also and they also give you surface level shit.
Exactly.
So they're like, you can't get any deeper than this.
Yeah.
And that's only for these particular things. Like the submarine. You get detailed with that.
Yeah.
But you can't give everyone all the information. You got to keep something.
Yeah. Yeah, and also too, it's like they caught on to the fact that majority of this country just reads the headlines and not the actual substance. Right. So they're like, okay,
so true.
So it's like, so
I'm not surprised, right? Because I'm guilty of that sometimes. To be honest,
we all are. We all are. Like I am too. Like I'm definitely guilty. But it's like it's like okay, our audience is lazy, so let's just give them like this like fluff, or like let's give them like this. And what's the word I'm looking for? Just this exaggerated title and everything, and then we'll just kind of repeat that a few times, and that's what the facts will be when it's not really actually the facts. That's just like the title.
Yep.
So
exactly.
Fact-based headlines.
Yeah.
I wonder if we can come up with a company that fact checks headlines.
What's your $1 billion idea?
I mean, it's got to be worth a couple bucks.
Something. I don't know. It's just
not a total fact check. We don't dive deep. No. We just make sure the superficial shit's good.
Is the headline correct?
Yeah. Spelling, pronunciation.
Yeah. Well, I bring it up because, like I said, I don't really have the news apps on my phone anymore.
Yeah.
But then you see what hits headlines, and I want to say, this is the best you got?
Exactly.
Like, are you guys really serious? This is what you want to report on?
Jeez.
Yeah.
Granny the pig that's been alive for 50 years? Dude, we got other countries getting taken over. We're being threatened. People don't even understand. We get threatened with nuclear stuff all the time from different countries.
Yeah.
The people are trying to
China with
North Korea.
North Korea.
North Korea. Yeah.
So, I'm sorry.
Well, no, but people, the infiltration of the Chinese to the southern border right now that's happening, and they're catching them. They're catching massive people on terrorist lists in America coming through the southern border, and you only want to talk about an elderly pig that's dying at 50, or like Biden takes a trip and fall. Like, honestly, it's crazy. It's sad that Biden's falling. I really do think it's terrible. It's sad. But you're going to report on that and not talk about these hard-hitting issues that could change our lives eventually?
Well, they can't talk about that, though. They can't talk about the southern border, which is like, and I'm not saying this from like crazy conservative standpoint. I'm just saying it because if they talked about everything that went on, it would definitely not look productive.
Right.
And the amount of money and time and political leverage that either party uses against the importance or not the importance of having a secure border, they don't want everyone to know exactly what's going on. Because like what I would say about it is that if the average person who feels like border control is bad, they don't get what really happens down there. And then the bummer part of saying that out loud is because it immediately makes me look insensitive, because it's not saying the people who are good people, who are hardworking, who want to start and live the American dream and become successful and do everything they can do to provide for themselves, their families back and for where our countries are coming from.
Right.
Like, I get that. And I think those people are awesome. And I keep pushing. I get it. I wish we had a better way of doing it. I wish we had a more secure way of doing it, because the reality is that you gotta create basically it's like a risk analysis. Mm-hmm. You say, okay, for every 100 people that come over, one of them's a terrorist. Or when I mean terrorist, I can mean like that could be gang affiliate, drug mule, cartel, whatever. Yeah. All those, they all in the same category. It's all bad. Right. So what's an appropriate number? Is it 10 to 1? Is it 100 to 1? Is it 1,000 to 1? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because when somebody comes over and you hear about the story, it says second time convicted shoots a 5-year-old on the streets in El Paso. Mm-hmm. not affiliated with what the person's doing there, but finding out that person's been deported twice, right? So it's like, what makes it back over? And you're like, okay, I think it's a fair statement to say that that shouldn't happen ever again. Right? That person's a piece of shit, and I don't care.
Right.
Don't let him come back over.
Well, here's the thing that I don't think some people are going to be sensitive about it, right? I agree with you, and it's not. It's like you said, I'm not trying to be any type of racist or discriminate, but you know what really gets me about what else is happening down there is what they're doing to these children. They found a girl, and this is going to be rough for some people to hear this. I'm reading it, and I was so sad when I read this.
Oh.
There's a little girl. They found her at the border. They found 22 different semen inside of her.
What?
13 years old.
No way.
13 years old. And people, do you realize that they're using these kids to come through, right? Oh, this is family, right? But people don't know a lot of them being sex trafficked, raped, all across, coming across the border all the time, being passed around. And I want to say, and you're okay with that. You're cool with that? It's happening because we have an open border.
Right.
You want to stop this, we need to close the border. That's going to help a little bit at least. But when I heard that, I was so taken back. I'm like, dude, people are so disgusting and inhumane in this world and have no respect for life or people, women, children, especially women. Sex trafficking is $1 billion industry. It makes more than the fucking pro football combined.
I wouldn't.
Hundreds of billions of dollars. It's insane.
It's sad, but it's
don't even get me started on that because they're finding stuff like how the government's kind of supporting some of that. So I don't want to say anything yet because I don't want to it's not facts.
Okay.
But there's some things that you read, you're like, oh, I mean, it's a little convincing. But there needs to be more homework done on it. But that's the problem with right now the southern border. You have terrorists on the most wanted list that they're capturing and getting come to the southern border, but people don't understand what's happening to these kids. Little boys and girls are getting raped.
Yeah.
It's so sad. It's so incredibly sad.
Well, it's